Justine Henin, known between 2002 and 2007 as Justine Henin-Hardenne, is a retired Belgian professional tennis player and former world number 1. Henin won 43 WTA singles titles and 7 Grand Slam singles titles, including 4 French Open titles, 1 Australian Open title, and 2 US Open titles. She also won the year-ending Sony Ericsson Championships twice and the singles gold medal at the 2004 Summer Olympics. Tennis experts cite her mental toughness, the completeness and variety of her game, her foot speed and footwork, and her one-handed backhand as the principal reasons for her success. Critics and all-time great players have made testament to Henin's talent. Upon Henin's first retirement from the WTA in the early part of the 2008 season, Billie Jean King said that pound for pound, Henin is the best tennis player of her generation, as well as that Justine is the best women's athlete I've ever seen. Andre Agassi said of Henin, Justine Henin is one of the most talented women ever to have played the game of tennis. In 2007, 18-time Grand Slam winner Martina Navratilova said that she is head and shoulders above everyone else right now. John McEnroe concurred, saying that Henin is the player I most like to watch. Henin made a return to the WTA in early 2010, losing the final of the Australian Open in only her second tournament back. On January 26, 2011, she announced that she had been forced to retire from professional tennis once again because of an elbow injury. In June 2011, she was named one of the 30 legends of women's tennis, past, present and future by Time. Playing style. At the 2007 French Open, Martina Navratilova said that Henin's offense is just phenomenal. It's sort of like we've got the female Federer, or maybe the guys have the male Justine Henin, because she is just head and shoulders above everyone else right now. Henin's footwork, balance, and court coverage and she is adept at changing from a defensive style to an aggressive one. Compared to the rest of her game, Henin's serve was rather inconsistent. Her tendency to take risks on her second serve could sometimes result in a high number of double faults. When she first came onto the tour, Henin used a pinpoint stance for serving, but later retooled her serve to use a platform stance, which is most common amongst male players. Nonetheless, despite her relatively small size, Henin was capable of producing powerful first serves, her fastest one being clocked at 196 km/h at the 2005 Family Circle Cup. Henin's single-handed backhand was the most powerful and accurate in the game. She could hit her backhand flat, with heavy top spin, or slice, underspin. Her backhand could also be used to surprise her opponents with drop shots, breaking up the pattern of a ground stroke rally. Henin's forehand was generally regarded as her most dangerous weapon, and the stroke that she normally used to dictate the play of a match. Like her serve, her forehand was something retooled during her career and took inspiration from Andre Agassi's forehand. A notable aspect of Henin's playing style was the completeness of her game, the variety and versatility she had. Her style was often compared to that of Roger Federer and to 5-time Grand Slam winner Martina Hingis as well. 4-time Grand Slam winner Kim Clijsters commented, growing up together, she's always been the more touchy player. She has good hands, she has those quick hands. Former world number 1 Andy Roddick praised Henin and Martina Hingis's racket skills, saying she is probably the best racket skills of any female player. Unregistered trademark ʒys.tin, maybe her, Hingis and Justine Hingis herself also similarly said players were better educated during my career. Now it's sheer power. You kind of miss the players like myself or Justine Henin. Volleying ability. Henin had always been considered one of the better volleyers on tour, but soon established herself as one of the best in the modern era. 2-time US Open champion Tracy Austin commented at the net, she's quite comfortable displaying excellent technique. She knows where to position herself, a contrast to many other players who get up to the net and look like a deer in headlights. Renowned tennis coach Nick Bollettieri included Henin as one of the few female tennis players he regarded as being a successful volleyer and an adept serve and volleyer, alongside the likes of Martina Navratilova and Yana Novotná. Personal life. Justine Henin was born in Liège. Her father is Joseph Copyright Henin. Her mother, Françoise Rosière, was a French and history teacher who died when Justine was 12 years old. She has two brothers and a sister. When Justine was 2, her family moved to a house in Rochefort, situated next to the local tennis club, where she played tennis for the first time. Henin's mother routinely took the young Henin across the border to France to watch the French Open. Henin saw the 1992 final involving her idol Steffi Graf and Monica Seles. Although Graf lost, the experience impressed Henin. In 1995, shortly after her mother's death, Henin met her coach Carlos Rodriguez, who guided her career both before her retirement in 2008 and during her 2010 comeback. Following a conflict between Justine and her father over her tennis career and her relationship with Pierre-Yves Hardenne, Rodriguez soon became not only her trainer but in some ways a second father figure. On November 16, 2002, Henin married Hardenne in the Car Centre de la Sainte-Anne, adopting the name Justine Henin-Hardenne. On January 4, 2007, Henin withdrew from forthcoming tournaments in Australia, including the Australian Open, due to personal issues. Henin confirmed 3 weeks later that she had officially separated from her husband. The same year, she reverted to using the name Justine Henin. She has been in a relationship with Benoit-registered trademark Thibaut Tutso, a Belgian cameraman, since March 2011. On September 12, 2012, Henin announced that she was pregnant and expecting her child in March. She gave birth to a girl named Lali on March 20, 2013. Tennis career. Early career. Henin, known as Juju to many of her fans, was coached by Carlos Rodriguez of Argentina. In 1997, she won the junior girls singles title at the French Open. Early in her senior career, she regularly reached the late rounds of international competitions and won 5 International Tennis Federation tournaments by the end of 1998. She began her professional career on the Women's Tennis Association Tour in May 1999 as a wild card entry in the Belgian Open clay tournament at Antwerp and became only the 5th player to win her debut WTA Tour event. She also won her hometown event, the Liège Challenger, in July 2000. Henin established herself as a major competitor in 2001, consequently reaching the women's singles semi-finals of the French Open and then upset the reigning Australian Open and French Open champion Jennifer Capriati in the semi-finals of Wimbledon, losing to defending champion Venus Williams in 3 sets in the final. By the end of the year, Henin was ranked 7th in singles, with 3 titles to her name. Also that year, she reached a French Open women's doubles semi-finals with Elena Tatarkova and helped Belgium win the 2001 Fed Cup. In 2002, she reached 4 WTA finals, winning 2 of them, and finished the year ranked world number 5. Her German Open victory, her first win at a Tier I tournament, was noteworthy as she beat Jennifer Capriati in a semi-final and Serena Williams in the final, the then number 2 and number 5 ranked players, respectively. 2003, ascent to number 1. Henin started the year as the 5th-ranked player in the world but lost to Kim Clijsters in the semi-finals of the Medibank International in Sydney. In the 4th round of the Australian Open in Melbourne, Henin defeated Lindsay Davenport 7-5, 5-7, 9-7. In a match lasting more than 3 hours, Henin overcame a 4-1 final set deficit, high temperatures, and muscle cramps to defeat Davenport for the first time in her career. Henin then lost to Venus Williams in the semi-finals in straight sets. Henin then lost to Clijsters in the semi-finals of the Proximus Diamond Games in Antwerp. At the Dubai Tennis Championships 1 week later, Henin defeated former world number 1 Monica Seles in the final 4-6, 7-6, 7-5 after Seles had a match point at 5-4 in the second set. It was Henin's first victory over Seles. Henin's next tournament was the Tier I Miami Masters. She lost in the quarter-finals to world number 10 Chanda Rubin 6-3, 6-2. At the Clay Court Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina, Henin defeated world number 1 Serena Williams in the final. This was Williams' first loss of the year after 21 wins. The following week, Henin reached the semi-finals of the Belgian Championships in Amelia Island, Florida, losing to eventual winner Elena Dementieva 3-6, 6-4, 7-5. Henin then helped Belgium defeat Austria 5-0 in a first-round tie of the Fed Cup. In May, Henin successfully defended her Tier I title at the Qatar Telecom German Open in Berlin. In the final, Henin saved 3 match points in the third set before defeating Clijsters. At the French Open, Henin was the 4th-seeded player. She defeated the defending champion, Serena Williams, in a controversial semi-final 6-2, 4-6, 7-5, which saw Henin failing to acknowledge her raised hand during Williams' service motion. Williams served a fault, despite the raised hand, leading to a second serve. In the final, Henin defeated Clijsters in straight sets. This was Henin's first Grand Slam title, and she was the first Belgian ever to win a Grand Slam singles title. Henin then began her preparations for Wimbledon. At the grass court Ordina Open in Rosmalen, Henin lost in the final to Clijsters when Henin was forced to retire from the match after injuring her finger. At Wimbledon, Henin was the 3rd-seeded player. She defeated Mary Pierce in the 4th round and Svetlana Kostsova in the quarter-finals before losing to Serena Williams in 6-3, 6-2 straight sets defeat. Henin's first competition after Wimbledon was the Fed Cup tie against Slovakia. Henin won both her singles matches to help Belgium win the tie 5-0. Henin then played 2 tournaments during the North American summer hard-court season before the U.S. Open. At the Tier I Acura Classic in San Diego, the 3rd-seeded Henin defeated the top-seeded Clijsters in the final. 2 weeks later at the Tier I Rogers Cup in Toronto, Henin defeated Russia's Lena Krasnoutskaya in the final. Henin was the 2nd-seeded player at the U.S. Open. She won her first 4 matches against unseeded players before defeating 7th-seeded Anastasia Miskina in the quarter-finals. Henin then defeated 6th-seeded Jennifer Capriati in the semi-finals 4-6, 7-5, 7-6, 4, in a match that lasted more than 3 hours and stretched to midnight. Henin recovered from a 5-3 deficit in the second set and a 5-2 deficit in the final set and was just 2 points from defeat 11 times. She was treated for muscle cramps and dehydration overnight but returned to play in the final the next day. In the final, Henin defeated Clijsters in straight sets. The win raised Henin's ranking to world number 2, just behind Clijsters. Henin next played the indoor Sparkassen Cup in Leipzig, Germany, where she lost to Miskina in the final. This ended Henin's 22-match winning streak. 2 weeks later at the indoor Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart, Germany, Henin lost in the final to Clijsters. Had Henin won this match, she would have immediately replaced Clijsters as the world number 1. At the Tier I Zurich Open the following week, Henin reached her 6th consecutive final where she defeated Serbia's Jelena Dokia. This win caused Henin to become the 13th world number 1 on the Women's Tennis Association computer on October 20, 2003. Henin, however, held this ranking for only 1 week as she declined to defend her title at the Generali Ladies Linz tournament in Linz, Austria. At the WTA Tour Championships in Los Angeles, Henin defeated Miskina and Capriati but lost to Japan's Ai Sugiyama in her round-robin matches. In the semi-finals, Henin lost to Arma Copyright Line Moresmo 7-6, 2, 3-6, 6-3. Henin was named the International Tennis Federation's Women's Singles World Champion for 2003. She ended the year as the world number 1. 2004 Olympic gold, Henin started 2004 by winning a warm-up tournament in Sydney. She then won the Australian Open in Melbourne, defeating Kim Clijsters in 3 sets. By the end of the 2004 spring hard-court season, Henin had built a 25-match Tier I winning streak and a 22-1 win-loss record. At the start of the 2004 spring clay court season, Henin's health was adversely affected by infection with a strain of cytomegalovirus and an immune system problem. She often slept up to 18 hours a day and barely had the strength to brush her teeth, let alone play competitive tennis. Although she decided to defend her French Open title and was seeded first in the tournament, she lost her second-round match to a much lower-ranked player, Tatiana Garbin of Italy. At the time, the loss marked only the second time in 15 Grand Slam events that she'd lost before the fourth round. After months of layoff because of a virus, Henin returned to competition in August and won the women's singles gold medal at the Summer Olympics in Athens, Greece, defeating Arma copyright Line Mauresmo of France in the final 6-3, 6-3. Henin reached the gold medal match by defeating reigning French Open champion Anastasia Miskina in a semi-final 7-5, 5-7, 8-6 after having trailed 1-5 in the final set. Her medal ceremony was attended by fellow countryman and IOC President Jacques Rogge. In September, she was unsuccessful in her defense of her U.S. Open title, losing to Nadia Petrova in the fourth round. This defeat caused her to lose the world number 1 ranking, which she had held for 45 non-consecutive weeks. She then withdrew from the 10 remaining tournaments of the year in an effort to recover her health and improve her fitness. 2005, her plan to rejoin the tour at the beginning of 2005 was delayed when she fractured her kneecap in a December 2004 training session. On March 25, after more than 6 months away from competition, Henin returned to the Women's Tennis Association Tour at the Miami Masters. She lost to second-ranked Maria Sharapova in a quarter-final. She rebounded at her next tournament, winning the clay court Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina. She won 2 more clay court titles before the start of the 2005 French Open. Her victories over top-ranked Lindsay Davenport, Sharapova, Elena Dementieva, Svetlana Kuznetsova, and Petrova made her a top contender for the title there. Henin was seeded 10th at the French Open and defeated the French player Mary Pierce in the final in straight sets to take her second title at Roland Garros. The win marked Henin's 24th consecutive clay court win and her 10th consecutive final win, a streak dating back to Zurich in October 2003. In capturing the title, she defeated Kuznetsova in the fourth round, Sharapova in a quarter-final, and Petrova in a semi-final. Henin saved 2 match points to defeat Kuznetsova in the fourth round 7-6, 6, 4-6, 7-5 and thus became only the second woman to win the French Open after saving a match point. With her French Open victory, Henin moved from world number 12 to world number 7 in the women's singles rankings. Henin was a perfect 24-0 on clay this year and joined Monica Seles as the only 2 currently active players on the WTA Tour to have won the French Open at least twice. At Wimbledon 2005, Henin's win streak of 24 matches was snapped in the first round by Greek Eleni Danailidou 7-6, 2-6, 7-5. It was the first time that a reigning French Open champion failed to win a match at Wimbledon. A hamstring injury sustained earlier in the year eventually limited her to playing only 11 more matches for 2005. Henin next played the Rogers Cup in Toronto, where she reached a final after beating Mauresmo in a semi-final before losing to Klijtsers in straight sets. She lost in the fourth round of the U.S. Open to eventual finalist Mary Pierce 6-3, 6-4. Following this, she played in Filderstadt, but after losing her first-round match to Flavia Pennetta, she decided not to play for the rest of 2005. In 2005, Tennis Magazine placed her in 31st place on its list of the 40 greatest players for the period 1965 through 2005. In November, at the 2005 WTA Tour Championships, she was named the inaugural winner of the Whirlpool Sixth Sense Player of the Year, which honors the player who has demonstrated the most sixth sense intuition, that is to say heightened intelligence, unbeatable performance and pinpoint precision. 2006, all 4 Slam finals. In January, Henin returned to competitive tennis at the tournament in Sydney, a tune-up for the Australian Open. She was seeded 5th and played former world number 1 Martina Hingis in a much-hyped first-round match. Henin won 6-3, 6-3. She then defeated former U.S. Open champion Svetlana Kuznetsova in a semi-final before defeating Francesca Iavone in the final. At the Australian Open, Henin defeated top-ranked Lindsay Davenport and fourth-ranked Maria Sharapova in three-set matches to set up a final against third-ranked Arma copyright Lie Morismo. While trailing 6-1, 2-0, Henin retired from the match, citing intense stomach pain caused by overuse of anti-inflammatories for a persistent shoulder injury. Henin stated afterwards that she feared possible injury had she continued to play. Henin was criticized by the press because she had stated after her semi-final win against Sharapova that she was at the peak of her fitness, and was playing the best tennis of her life. This was only the fourth Grand Slam women's singles final to end by retirement since 1900 and the first in the Open era. Henin captured her second title of the year at a Tier 2 event in Dubai, defeating Sharapova 7-5, 6-2. This was her third Dubai title, having won previously in 2003 and 2004. At the Tier I Pacific Life Open in Indian Wells, California, Henin lost in the semi-finals to fourth-seeded Elena Dementieva 2-6, 7-5, 7-5 after leading 6-2, 5-2 and serving for the match twice. Henin also lost in the second round of the Tier I Miami Masters to Megan Shaughnessy 7-5, 6-4. On clay, Henin failed to retain her title at the Tier I Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina, losing in the semi-finals to third-seeded Patty Schneider 2-6, 6-3, 6-2. It was her first career defeat at this tournament and the end of her 27-match winning streak on clay. Henin then helped Belgium defeat defending champion Russia in a Fed Cup quarter-final. She beat fifth-ranked Nadia Petrova 6-7, 6-4, 6-3, and ninth-ranked Elena Dementieva 6-2, 6-0. Petrova had come into the tie with two consecutive clay court tournament victories and a 10-match clay court winning streak, while Dementieva had defeated Henin in their last meeting in Indian Wells and defeated second-ranked Belgian compatriot Kim Clijsters on the first day of the tie. 3 weeks later, Henin played the Tier I Qatar Telecom German Open, defeating Morismo in a semi-final 6-1, 6-2 before losing to Petrova in a three-set final. At the French Open, Henin defeated second-seeded Clijsters in the semi-finals 6-3, 6-2. She then defeated Kstsova in the final to win her third French Open singles title in 4 years. Henin captured the title without losing a set and became the first French Open champion to defend her title successfully since Steffi Graf in 1996. At the Eastbourne Grass Court tournament just before Wimbledon, Henin defeated Anastasia Miskina in the final in 3 sets. Henin was the third seed going into Wimbledon and advanced to her third consecutive Grand Slam final without losing a set. She defeated Clijsters in a semi-final 6-4, 7-6, 4, but lost the final to Morismo. The final featured 2 finesse players who used their all-court games, a break from recent years that featured a succession of power baseliners claiming the title. At almost every point throughout the match, both players approached the net to volley. Tipped as the tournament favorite, Henin won the first set. But Morismo recovered to win the next 2 sets and her second Grand Slam singles title and deny the Belgian a career Grand Slam. This was the only Wimbledon final of the decade that did not involve Venus Williams and or Serena Williams. Henin withdrew from Tier I events in San Diego and Montreal because of injury but played the tournament in New Haven, Connecticut. There, she defeated Kstsova and Davenport en route to the title. It was her 28th WTA Tour title. She returned to the world number 2 ranking and crossed over $12 a million in career prize money. At the US Open, Maria Sharapova defeated Henin in the final after Henin had defeated Lindsay Davenport in the quarter-finals and Jelena Jankovic in the semi-finals 4-6, 6-4, 6-0. Henin became the first woman since Hingis in 1997 to reach the finals of all 4 Grand Slam singles tournaments in a calendar year. Henin won both of her singles matches during the Fed Cup final against Italy in Charleroi, Belgium. However, Henin retired from the deciding doubles match because of a knee injury while she and her partner Kirsten Flipkens were trailing 3-6, 6-2, 2-0, giving Italy the championship. Henin guaranteed her year-end world number 1 ranking by reaching the final of the Sony Ericsson Championships, defeating Maria Sharapova in the semi-finals 6-2, 7-6, 5. Henin then defeated Mauresmo and won the tournament for the first time in her career. Henin was the first player since Hingis in 2000 to win the WTA Tour Championships and end the year as the top-ranked player. Henin was the first woman to win at least one Grand Slam singles title in 4 consecutive years since Steffi Graf from 1993 through 1996. Her prize money earnings for the year totaled $4,204,810. 2007, Dominance. On January 4, 2007, Henin withdrew from the Australian Open in the warm-up tournament in Sydney to deal with the breakup of her marriage. Not playing those tournaments caused Henin to lose the world number 1 ranking to Maria Sharapova. In Henin's first tournament of the year, she lost in the semi-finals of the Open Gaz de France in Paris to Czech Lucy Angstrom Afars so unregistered trademark over 7-6, 5, 6-4. She then won 2 hard-court tournaments in the Middle East, the Dubai Duty-Free Women's Open over Armour copyright line Mauresmo and her first Qatar Total Open title in Doha, defeating Svetlana Kstsova in the final. She also reached $14 million in career prize money and on March 19, regained the world number 1 ranking. At the Miami Masters, Henin reached the final for the first time in her career, where she lost to Serena Williams 0-6, 7-5, 6-3 after holding 2 match points at 6-0, 5-4. Her next tournament was the J&S Cup in Warsaw, Poland, which she won, beating Alona Bondarenko of Ukraine in the final, 6-1, 6-3. Later, at the Qatar Telecom German Open in Berlin, Henin won her quarter-final against Jelena Jankovia 3-6, 6-4, 6-4 after being behind 4-0 in the third set, only to lose her semi-final against Kstsova 6-4, 5-7, 6-4. The loss was only her second to Kstsova in 16 career meetings. At the French Open, Henin was the 2-time defending champion and top seed. In a highly anticipated quarter-final match against Serena Williams, Henin won 6-4, 6-3. She then defeated Jankovia in the semi-finals 6-2, 6-2. In the final, Henin defeated Ana Ivanovic in straight sets, 6-1, 6-2 to claim her 3rd consecutive French Open title, equaling ʒys' Open-era record. She also surpassed $15 million in career prize money earnings. Henin won the tournament without dropping a set and had not lost a set at this tournament since the 2005 French Open quarterfinals. She had not lost a match at the French Open since 2004. The International Women's Open in Eastbourne was Henin's first grass court tournament of the year. She and Mauresmo reached the final, which was the first time in nearly 30 years that the Eastbourne final included both finalists from Wimbledon the previous year. Henin recovered from a breakdown in the final set to win in a third-set tiebreak for the 2nd consecutive year. At Wimbledon, Henin lost to Marion Bartoli in the semi-finals 1-6, 7-5, 6-1, one day after Henin defeated Serena Williams in the quarterfinals. It was Henin's first win over the American on a surface other than clay. In the semi-final, Henin was up a break at 1-0 and 4-3 in the second set, but could not hold the lead. In August, Henin won the T.I. Rogers Cup in Toronto, defeating Jankovia in the final. The tournament championship was Henin's 35th on the WTA Tour, moving her past Klijsters who retired with 34 tournament championships. At the US Open, Henin defeated her first 4 opponents in straight sets, with a 6-0 set in each match. Henin then faced Serena Williams in the quarterfinals for the 3rd consecutive time in a Grand Slam tournament, and for the 3rd time, Henin won, 7-6, 3, 6-1. In the semi-finals against Venus Williams, Henin was up a break in the first set but could not hold it. She finally won the set in a tiebreak. In the second set, Henin was ahead 3-0 before Williams leveled the set at 3-3. Williams then had 3 break points on Henin's service but could not convert and lost the game. Henin then broke Williams's serve and held her own serve to go up 5-3. Williams then broke Henin to pull within 5-4 but Henin broke Williams again in the last game to win the match 7-6, 2, 6-4. Henin became only the second player to defeat both Williams' sisters in the same Grand Slam tournament. In the final, Henin won her second US Open singles title, defeating Kuznetsova in straight sets, 6-1, 6-3. Henin won the tournament without dropping a set. Henin won her next tournament, the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix, defeating Tatiana Golovin in the final. 2 weeks later, Henin won the Zurich Open, her 9th title of the year, by again defeating Golovin in the final. At the WTA Tour Championships, Henin won all 3 of her round-robin matches, defeating Anna Shakhvtadze, Jankovic, and Bartoli. Going into the match against Bartoli, Henin had won 22 consecutive matches since Bartoli defeated her in the 2007 Wimbledon semi-finals. Although Henin had already clinched a spot in the semi-finals, both Henin and Bartoli did not know Bartoli had to replace Serena Williams until several hours before the match and lost 6-0, 6-0. In the semi-finals, Henin defeated Ivanovic 6-4, 6-4. In the final, Henin overcame Sharapova in 3 sets in a match that lasted 3 hours, 24 minutes. Sharapova won the first set on her 8th set point in the 12-minute last game. Henin won the match on her 5th match point in the final game of the match. This was Henin's longest ever match, the longest final in tournament history, and the 12th longest women's match ever. This victory extended Henin's winning streak to 25 matches. She only lost 3 sets after Wimbledon. This victory made her the 6th player to successfully defend her title at the WTA's season-ending championship and the first player to claim at least 10 tour titles in a year since Hingis won 12 in 1997. She also became the first woman to break the $5 a million barrier in prize money in a year, and by crossing $19 a million, Henin is now ranked 5th on the all-time prize money list. Henin ended the year ranked world number 1 for the 3rd time in her career, having done so previously in 2003 and 2006. She was the first player since Martina Hingis to end the year ranked world number 1 consecutively for 2 years. She also ended the year with a 63-4 record, having lost to only 4 players, Lucy Angstrom of so unregistered trademark over, Serena Williams, Svetlana Kuznetsova, and Marion Bartoli. Her winning percentage of 94% was the best since Steffi Graf's 1995 season. 2008, retirement, Henin started the year as the world number 1. January 14 marked Henin's 100th career week as world number 1, and on March 10, Henin became only the 7th female player to be ranked world number 1 for 12 consecutive months. The Medibank International in Sydney was Henin's first tournament of the year. She defeated Anna Ivanovic in the semi-finals 6-2, 2-6, 6-4. She then defeated world number 2 Svetlana Kuznetsova 4-6, 6-2, 6-4, overcoming an 0-3 deficit in the final set. At the Australian Open in Melbourne, Henin won her 32nd consecutive match in the 4th round, defeating Xie Su-Wei of Taiwan 6-2, 6-2. The winning streak ended in the quarter-finals when Sharapova, the eventual winner, defeated Henin 6-4, 6-0. This was Henin's first 6-0 loss since the 2002 French Open and the first time since the 2005 US Open that Henin had been defeated in a Grand Slam singles tournament before the semi-finals. At the Proximus Diamond Games in Antwerp, Henin defeated Karen Knapp in the final. This was Henin's second singles title in her native Belgium. 2 weeks later at the Barclays Dubai Tennis Championships, Henin was the defending champion but lost for the first time in 8 meetings to Francesca Iavone in the quarter-final 7-6, 3, 7-6, 4. Henin had struggled for 3 hours in her first match against Katarina Spotnik, eventually winning 7-5, 6-7, 6-3. After taking a 4-week break, Henin's next tournament was the Prix Miami Masters. She lost in the quarter-finals to Serena Williams 6-2, 6-0. Henin then withdrew from the Prix Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina because of an injury to her right knee. At the Prix, clay court Qatar Telecom German Open in Berlin, Henin lost in the third round to Dinara Safina 5-7, 6-3, 6-1, in what turned out to be her last match before retirement. In their 5 previous career matches, Henin had never lost a set to Safina. The day after her defeat, Henin withdrew from the Prix Internazionale BNL d'Italia in Rome, citing fatigue. Henin announced her immediate retirement from professional tennis on May 14, 2008, and requested the Women's Tennis Association to remove her name from the rankings immediately. Her announcement was a surprise because Henin was still ranked world number 1 and was considered the favorite for the 2008 French Open, where she would have been the 3-time defending champion. She said she felt no sadness about her retirement because she believed it was a release from a game she had focused on for 20 years. She also said that in the future, she would be concentrating on charity and her tennis school. 2010, comeback, Belgian newspaper, ʒys L'avenir, reported on Tuesday 22 September 2009 that Henin would formally announce her return to competitive tennis after 16 months of retirement. Later that day, Justine Henin confirmed her return to competition. Henin mentioned seeing Roger Federer finally complete the Grand Slam of titles by winning the French Open in 2009 had been an inspiration, as had Kim Clijsters' return to the tour and her victory at the US Open. Henin made her return to tennis at the 2010 Brisbane International where she was given a wildcard. She defeated number 2 seed Nadia Petrova, Cizilka Rodoncheva, number 7 seed Melinda Zink and number 3 seed Ana Ivanovic to make it to the final. She then nearly won, losing to her Belgian compatriot Kim Clijsters in a riveting final, 6-3, 4-6, 7-6, 6, lasting 2 hours, 23 minutes. At one point, Henin was up 3-0 in the third set, and even held 2 match points on her serve at 5-3 before Clijsters took the match to a tie-break. Down 1-5 in the tie-break, she fought back to 6-all before Clijsters took the final 2 points. At the 2010 Australian Open, Henin was given a wildcard as an unranked player. Henin started off with a straight sets victory over Belgian Kirsten Flipkens. She set up the most highly anticipated second-round match of the tournament with number 5 seed Elena Dementieva, whom she defeated 7-5, 7-6, 5. Lasting 2 hours and 50 minutes, commentators felt this match was worthy of a final. Henin approached the net 43 times, winning 35 of those points. In the third round, she defeated number 28 seed Aliza Klibanova from Russia, where she made a comeback to win 3-6, 6-4, 6-2. In the fourth round she faced world number 16 and fellow Belgian, Janina Wickmeyer, defeating her in 3 sets 7-6, 1-6, 6-3. She then defeated number 19 seed Nadia Petrova from Russia in the quarter-finals. Henin won 7-6, 7-5 after having been down 0-3 in the second set. She then went on to defeat Zhang Jia from China in the semi-finals in convincing fashion 6-1, 6-0, setting up a clash with world number 1 Serena Williams in the 2010 Australian Open Ladies Final. This was the first time in their long rivalry that Henin and Serena Williams met in a Grand Slam final. Henin would eventually fall to Serena Williams in 3 sets 6-4, 3-6, 6-2. A wild card was granted for Henin to compete at the 2010 BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, a premier mandatory tournament. In the first round, Henin defeated Magdala Copyright Narabaric 6-2, 6-2 in a little over an hour. Henin then lost to Gisladulko, 2-6, 6-1, 4-6, in a 2-hour match. The result gave her a new rank of world number 33 as of March 22, 2010. She defeated Jill Krabers of USA 6-2, 6-2 in the first round of Sony Ericsson Open. In the second round, Henin defeated world number 6 Elena Dementieva 6-3, 6-2 in 90 minutes. In the third round, Henin defeated Dominika Sibylkova in 93 minutes, 6-4, 6-4 advancing to the quarter-finals where Henin thrashed Vera Zvonova 6-1, 6-4 to set up a meeting in the quarter-finals with world number 2 Caroline Wozniacki. After defeating world number 2 Wozniacki in a 3-set match, she fell to compatriot Kim Clijsters in a semi-final battle, 2-6, 7-6, 6-7. Following her Sony Ericsson Open performance, Henin moved into the top 25 for the first time since her comeback. Henin's next tournament was the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. Henin played through this tournament injured, having previously broken her left pinky during Fed Cup practice. In the first round, Henin saw off German qualifier Julia Gar-Paragraph RGES 7-6, 6-1. In her second round, she defeated world number 12 and fellow Belgian Janina Wickmeyer, defeating her for the second consecutive time, 6-3, 7-5. In the quarter-finals, she defeated fourth seed and world number 7 Jelena Jankovia 3-6, 7-6, 6-3 for the 10th time in her career. She defeated world number 20 Shaha Peo in the semi-finals, 6-3, 6-2, and reached her third final in 5 tournaments this year. She faced world number 10 Samantha Stosa. Henin won the final 6-4, 2-6, 6-1 in 100 minutes, to procure her first title in 2010. Winning this tournament also sent Henin into the top 20 for the first time since her comeback. At the 2010 Mutua Madrid ± Madrid Open she was defeated in the first round by eventual champion Aravan Reza 4-6, 7-5, 6-0. As a result of this shock loss, Henin dropped out of the top 20 to number 23. Henin then participated at the 2010 French Open, seeded 22nd, the second Grand Slam of the year where she had won 4 previous titles. In the first round, she defeated Svetlana Pironkova in 89 minutes, 6-4, 6-3. In the second round, Henin faced Klara Zakopalova and defeated her 6-3, 6-3. In the third round, facing former world number 1 Maria Sharapova, Henin ended her streak of consecutive sets at 40, losing the second set to Sharapova but going on to win 6-2, 3-6, 6-3. She had then tied the number of consecutive sets won at the French Open with Helen Wills Moody. She lost to world number 7 Samantha Stosa 2-6, 6-1, 6-4 in the fourth round, her first defeat at Roland Garros since 2004. Henin began the grass court season at the 2010 UNICEF Open, where she was the top seed for the first time since her return. In the first 3 rounds she defeated Angelique Kerber, Roberta Vinci, and Christina Barrois in straight sets. She then demolished number 5 seed Alexandra Dalgiru in the semi-finals, 6-2, 6-2. In the final, she defeated number 7 seed Andrea Petkovic to win her 43rd career title and second of the year. At the 2010 Wimbledon Championships, Henin was the number 17 seed. In the third round, she had a convincing victory over Nadia Petrova, winning 6-1, 6-4. Justine was eventually defeated in the fourth round by Kim Clijsters 2-6, 6-2, 6-3, after claiming a convincing first-set win. Midway through the first set, Henin slipped on the court, injuring her right elbow. Further examinations revealed a partial ligament fracture in her elbow, causing her to end her 2010 season prematurely. 2011, second retirement. Henin started her season at the 2011 Hopman Cup. She did not lose any sets in the competition, earning comfortable victories over Alicia Molik from Australia, Cecilka Rodencheva from Kazakhstan, Ana Ivanovic of Serbia and Bethany Matksans of the USA in the final. Henin was the 11th seed and a defending finalist at the 2011 Australian Open. Henin defeated Sania Mtsa from India in the first round 5-7, 6-3, 6-1 and Elena Baltica in the second round, 6-1, 6-3. She then fell to 23rd seed Svetlana Kostsova in the third round 4-6, 6-7, 8. On January 26, 2011, Henin announced her definitive retirement from professional tennis, due to an exacerbation of the elbow injury she sustained the previous year at Wimbledon. Public life and endorsements. In May 2007, Henin and her coach Carlos Rodriguez started the academy Sixth Sense. At the 2009 US Open girls doubles, the Ukrainian tennis player Marina Zanevska became the first Sixth Sense player to win a Grand Slam title. On November 30, 2007, Henin opened her own tennis academy club Justine Henin-Hardenne. On May 14, 2008, Henin announced her immediate retirement from professional tennis. She was 25 years old and ranked world number 1 at the time. She announced her return to competitive tennis on September 22, 2009. After retiring, Henin became involved in 2 Belgian reality shows in 2009. In May, she starred in De 12 Werken van Justine Henin les 12 Travaux de Justine Henin. The show followed Henin as she completed 12 personal challenges. In June 2009, she hosted a musical TV show that revolved around Belgian-Italian singer Lara Fabian. Career statistics. Singles, 12, records. These records were attained in open era of tennis. Records in bold indicate peerless achievements. Tied with Helen Wills Moody for the all-time record for the number of consecutive sets won at the French Open. Only female player in decade of 2000 to 2009 to reach title match of all 4 Grand Slams at least twice. Awards and honors, see also. List of female tennis players, list of Grand Slam women's singles champions, Belgium at the 2004 Summer Olympics, Henin S. Williams rivalry, Klijtis Henin rivalry, references. External links, official website, Justine Henin at the Women's Tennis Association, Justine Henin at the International Tennis Federation, Justine Henin at the International Tennis Federation Junior Profile, Justine Henin at the Fed Cup, Justine Henin at the Internet Movie Database.